Part 27. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 261. Huang Mei's whole body was immersed in the dim light. She sat there, looking out the window, motionless for a long time. The faint light coming in from the window roughly outlined the silhouette of her face. As soon as she arrived here, Huang Mei seemed to be a different person. She was no longer the fast-talking, giggling Huang Mei, but the silent, even a little melancholy Huang Mei. When Lu Ligan felt that she might have forgotten that there was another person on the opposite side, Huang Mei said softly, "Look at that door." Lu Ligan turned to look outside. Following Huang Mei's gaze, he saw a stainless steel spiral staircase at the end of the garden. Going up the stairs, it led to the second floor of the six-story building next door. There is a dark red door at the end of the stairs. A solitary light shines on the door frame. The dim yellow light illuminates the entire spiral staircase below. In the light, there are small flying insects flying. The dark red door is illuminated by the light. Inside, looking over from them, one could clearly see that the paint on the door was peeling off. "Do you know what's in this door?" Huang Mei asked softly, and Lu Ligan couldn't help lowering his voice and replied that he didn't know. "There was a very beautiful girl," Huang Mei sighed. "I saw her standing at the door once, and she only stood for a short minute or two. I never saw her again, but I know, she was in that room, and every time I came, I would watch here, waiting for her to come out, but I just didn't see it." Lu Ligan chuckled softly. "How do you know she is still inside if I didn't see her?" "Intuition, really, I can intuitively feel her behind that door." Huang Mei sighed again and asked Lu Ligan, "Do you think I have fallen in love with her?" "It's possible." Lu Ligan nodded. After a moment of silence, Huang Mei said in a very firm tone, "No, I didn't fall in love with her, I was envious of her." "You envy her? What do you envy?" "She can stay at home so quietly all the time." "I can't stay at home." "You don't know how much people like me who can't stay at home really want to stay at home." "That's not easy, just don't go out." "You don't understand, if you are at home and your heart is outside, you are not staying." Huang Mei sighed in an almost soliloquy tone. "There is no way, if I can't stay, I can't stay. I just can't stay at home." "Live. Is there anything at home that makes you unable to stay?" Lu Ligan asked. Huang Mei remained silent. This silence gave the darkness around her a sad taste. If the light was bright now, Lu Ligan felt that he would definitely be able to see Huang Mei's frowning brows, and maybe he could also see tears flashing in the corners of her eyes. The two people faced each other in the dark and were silent again. "By the way, Lao Ma, do you have a girlfriend?" After a while of silence, Huang Mei asked suddenly. Lu Ligan hesitated for a moment and replied, "No." "Strangeness. What's weird? You look fancy, you should have many girlfriends." "It turns out there was, and she dumped him," Lu Li said angrily. Huang Mei chuckled, "You deserve it, you deserve to be dumped a few more times." "Why?" "I don't know, I just think you should be like this." "Inhumane." "Lao Ma." "What?" "After dinner later, how about we go to your place?" Of course Lu Ligan wanted to take this person back to his door and deal with it, but he thought of Wen Wen and Qian Qian. It would be terrible if they discovered this. Women say it doesn't matter on their lips, but in fact they have a big problem in their hearts. About Jia Jia, Lu Ligan was chased and tortured by them for a long time. "No," Lu Ligan said. "Why, Lao Ma? The place where I live is dirty and smelly." "I do not care. I live with a friend," Lu Ligan said. "Oh, forget it," Huang Mei said. "By the way, what time is it now?" Lu Ligan looked at his watch and said to her, 8:10. Huang Mei stood up, swept the floor, and closed the curtains. This action was so sudden that Lu Ligan couldn't help but ask, "What are you doing?" "When the time comes, I set a rule for myself. I wait for her until 8 o'clock every time. Even if she shows up after 8 o'clock, I will pretend that she is not waiting. Huang Mei said, walked to the door, turned on the light, stuck her head out the door and called, Xiaolan. Someone came up the stairs and stood in the corridor and asked, Miss Huang, did you call me? Yes, you help us arrange it, Huang Mei told her. After saying that, she retracted her head into the door, closed the door, walked over, and sat down opposite Lu Ligan again. When Lu Ligan saw her, he returned to his original position. What it looks like during the day. It's your turn, Lao Ma, to report on the afternoon's work. Huang Mei raised her eyebrows and said to Lu Ligan. Lu Ligan told her about going to the airport in the afternoon. Smart, Lao Ma. Huang Mei patted her right hand on the table and praised, Lao Ma, your image in my mind is getting bigger and bigger now. Tell me, how could you have thought of that, this one? Lu Ligan smiled and said, I was very worried in the office in the afternoon. I saw a plane flying outside and got an idea. Huang Mei tilted her head and looked at Lu Ligan. Lu Ligan could see that although her eyes stayed on him, her attention had already wandered to nowhere. By the way, Lao Ma, do you think there is a business opportunity here? Huang Mei asked. What business opportunity? We send people to fly every day to help people carry these urgent things from Haikan to various cities. Will the business be very good? We also have to buy tickets for people, and here we only charge 100 yuan, so it's not a big loss, Lu Ligan said with a smile. Idiot, get together. Haikan is so big. You're not the only one who wants to send things to Beijing every day, Huang Mei said. You think it's okay to bring hundreds of pieces of luggage for one person? If we don't want 100, we'll just charge 50. If you do the math, you can still make a lot of money after deducting the air tickets. Yes, I didn't expect it. It's true when you said it, Lu Ligan said. Besides, we don't need each other to go to the airport to wait, and we deliver it directly to people's doors. It must be very popular. Come on, Lao Ma, let's just set up a company, Huang Mei said. Let's call it Huang Lu Company. Huang is me and Lu is you. We are the two prides of the world. Let's call it Lu Huang. Add some saltpeter and some charcoal and you can make a bomb, Lu Ligan said with a smile. Oh, I'm serious, Huang Mei said. I'm serious, it's not good, it sounds like a landlord's manner, it's the kind of shabby landlord. Huang Mei raised her eyebrows. When you say that, it really sounds like, okay, I don't want it anymore, you come and get one. It's ready-made. It's called beautiful. Beautiful and timely. Timely means fast. We first register the company and then rent a shop on the street to collect such documents. People who need it will come to us. Not only in Haikan, but also in other cities, they also need to send it to Haikan, not just Haikan, but other cities as well. Why can't Beijing send it to Shanghai? Isn't that going to be a big deal? Are you afraid of causing trouble? Don't be afraid. The bigger the better. Who is afraid of having more money? The two people talked more and more enthusiastically, and Lu Ligan shouted, okay, then let's make beautiful and timely documents bloom everywhere. Good job, Lao Ma, this is a good idea. Beauty and timeliness. Beauty is okay, but timeliness is not good, like swearing. Timeliness, Lao Ma, you want to scare me to death, Huang Mei said, and she laughed. Lu Ligan also laughed. Lu Ligan thought for a moment and said, that's called Beautiful Express, it's simple and easy to understand. Huang Mei clapped her hands and shouted, okay, this is it, Beautiful Express, okay, that's it. Let's register a Beautiful Express company right away. I will be the chairman, you will be the general manager, you will be the chairman, and I will be the general manager, okay, whatever you want. Great, Lu Ligan also clapped his hands. This business can be done, and we will definitely make a lot of money. Really? Next we will be the female boss and the male boss. Yes, next you go to the women's cell and I go to the men's cell, Lu Ligan said with a smile. Huang Meli asked curiously, what kind of concubine? Women's prison, Lu Ligan said, do you know this is illegal? In our country, the postal service is exclusively run by the Post and Telecommunications Bureau. We are already robbing their jobs and will go to jail. No, no, I won't do it. Huang Meli quickly waved her hand. I heard people say that the prison is full of bedbugs and fleas, and I don't want to go. Lu Ligan couldn't help but laugh. Huang Meli grimaced and was stunned for a while. She said, what a good business opportunity, it was wasted like this. Why do you have to go to jail for doing this? Isn't it reasonable? If you don't say it, it doesn't mean you say it. The law is ruthless. Huang Meli stretched out her hand, took Lu Ligan's hand, shook it, and said coquettishly, Lao Ma, what should we do? Our dream of getting rich is shattered. Someone knocked on the door twice, then it was pushed open and the waiter started serving them food. Lu Ligan raised his cup and said to Huang Meli, come and drink to the demise of our dream of getting rich. Huang Meli giggled, raised her glass, and said, okay, because of these two unlucky guys, we only made a fortune in less than 10 minutes. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 262. The food here is delicious. Lu Ligan admired it secretly in his heart, but he didn't show it on his face or words. He didn't want Huang Meli to think that he had never seen the world. Huang Meli was also very considerate. Although the food and wine were not cheap, she never talked about them, nor did she advise Lu Ligan to eat this or that. Everything seemed very calm, even a little careless, as if they were not having a big meal. And it was just commonplace, or to her, it was commonplace. After the two of them finished eating, they went downstairs. Lu Ligan saw Huang Meli's difficulty again. When they passed the counter, Huang Meli didn't say to pay, but just looked at each other and smiled at the girl at the cashier. The girl picked up a pen and handed it to Huang Meli. There was already a settlement form spread out on the counter. Huang Meli signed it without even looking at it. It all seemed so casual too. Lu Ligan took a sneak peek behind him and was shocked. The two of them had a meal in such a leisurely manner, but it actually cost 2,800 yuan. What surprised Lu Ligan even more was that Huang Meli was there. There is actually the right to sign orders here. That does not mean that you have money. You must be a regular customer here and the store has full trust in you. How much money do you have to eat here to get this dignity? The 3 words signed by Huang Meli were obviously carefully designed and practiced repeatedly. Lu Ligan didn't see what the words were, but only vaguely recognized a yellow character. After Huang Meli signed, he went with the cashier. The girl on the stage said thank you softly and walked out with Lu Ligan. When she got to the car, Huang Meli was not in a hurry to drive. Instead, she sat there, rubbing the steering wheel with her hands, dazed for a while, as if she was thinking about where to go next, and seemed to be waiting for something to happen. The shadow of the coconut tree above her head and the moonlight in the gap between the trees fell on Huang Meli's face. The moonlight illuminated the right half of her cheek, making her face seem to grow a layer of white down. Her eyes narrowed slightly. He stood, looking ahead, in a daze, giving people a melancholy feeling. The part of his face immersed in the shade of the trees was charming and mysterious. Lu Ligan looked at her and was stunned for a moment. He just thought she was so beautiful. Naturally, the word charming came to Lu Ligan's mind. Lu Ligan couldn't help but leaned over and got very close. Huang Meli had no intention of evading or refusing. Lu Ligan continued, gently touched her cheek and whispered, "You can't blame me, you are too beautiful." Huang Meli pursed her lips, tapped her hands on the steering wheel, turned around and asked Lu Ligan, "What time is it?" Lu Li was confused, looked at the time, and said to her, 9:48. Huang Mei breathed a sigh of relief, and then laughed. Okay, it's perfect. I set a rule for myself. If you don't kiss me before 10 o'clock, nothing will happen to us tonight. Huang Mei said and started the car. Lu Li was confused. What do you mean? If you didn't kiss at 10 o'clock, nothing would happen next. Then if you kissed, would it? Lu Ligan's heart was beating wildly. Although he could be said to have loved countless women, in front of Huang Mei, he vaguely felt something different. Huang Mei seemed to have an awe-inspiring and inviolable temperament. If she doesn't want to, you won't get anything. If you force it, the consequences may be serious. This kind of temperament made Lu Lizan dare not make mistakes. When Lu Ligan was with other women, he always did as he pleased, reaching out and grabbing them. Even when he was with Lu Yun, he would often use a playful smile like this to cover up his recklessness and boldness. But in the beginning, Lu Yunhui refused directly. Lu Ligan didn't take it personally when he was rejected. He failed and fought again and again without any worries. He failed again and would continue to try again and again until Lu Yun accepted him. But when he first approached Huang Mei, Lu Ligan felt uneasy. He felt that success or failure depended on this one move. He would just gamble on whether it would work. Huang Mei didn't seem to be someone who would give people a second chance, let alone give him a second chance. He suffered repeated defeats. If Huang Mei's calm expression hadn't encouraged him, he thought he would have retreated. Huang Mei drove her car directly to Guo's hang. She didn't park her car in the parking lot under the steps at the door, but parked it directly next to the gate. Here, the hotel's own cars are usually parked, or simply the hotel's. The boss's seat was reserved for the hotel's doormen and security guards. They didn't stop him when they saw her. Instead, they all waved and greeted Huang Mei. Huang Mei took Lu Ligan in. As they approached the front desk, the two waiters at the front desk saw Huang Mei with smiles on their faces. Huang Mei stretched out a finger to signal. When they approached, the waiter had already picked up the key tag was given to Huang Mei, and there was no need to register it. The two of them took the elevator upstairs and entered the room. Huang Mei threw her bag on the sofa, turned around and looked at Lu Ligan, and giggled, "Lao Ma, go brush your teeth quickly." Lu Lipo looked at her puzzled. Huang Mei blushed, which was caused by Lu Ligan's stupidity. She turned her eyes away and said coquettishly, "Do you still want to kiss me?" Lu Ligan realized that he had just eaten seafood, and he quickly went to the bathroom. When Lu Ligan woke up, it was already past 2 o'clock. He looked around and saw no one. Lu Ligan thought Huang Mei was in the bathroom, so he put up his pillow and sat up on the bed, leaning against his back. Taking the pillow, he took the cigarettes on the bedside table, took out one and thought about lighting it, then put it back. He was not sure whether Huang Mei disliked the smell of cigarettes. The bathroom door was open and the lights were on, but it was quiet inside. Only the ventilation fan and the central air conditioning outlet made rustling sounds. Lu Ligan thought, would she fall asleep sitting in the bathroom? Looking around the dimly lit room, Lu Ligan gradually realized something was wrong. Huang Mei's clothes were not seen on the sofa, carpet, or table. Even her bag was missing. Lu Ligan got out of bed and left. I went to the bathroom and saw that there was no one inside. The towel thrown on the sink was still a little damp, so it was obvious that someone had just used it. Lu Ligan returned to the room and concluded that Huang Mei had left. Lu Ligan took the TV remote control from the desk and turned on the TV. The TV here can receive overseas channels. Lu Ligan saw that the news screens of BBC and CNN were all Yeltsin. Lu Ligan's English was very poor. Couldn't understand what the announcer was saying, and relying on the picture and his own guessing, he knew that Yeltsin had become the first president of the Russian Federation. Lu Ligan crawled back onto the bed, took the cigarette on the bedside table and smoked it. Yeltsin blurred in the smoke, and all he thought about was Huang Mei. He is becoming more and more curious about her now. Sometimes this girl looks very simple, sometimes she seems very complicated, sometimes she has great energy, whether in that hotel or downstairs here, but sometimes she seems very ordinary, like at the Industrial and Commercial Bureau. Logically speaking, she shouldn't be the kind of person who would queue up and look at the looks of the petty officials. That's why Lu Ligan mistook her for a clerk of some company at first. This puzzled Lu Ligan. He thought that even if Jin Lily took action, she would not queue up in the corridor obediently. According to Jin Lily's style and energy, her approach must be to find a relationship first and give it directly to Lao Ma. Even Lao Ma thinks it is too young. The section chief is nothing, Jin Lily will definitely say this. She will find someone to call the director directly, and then show up in the director's office, and the director will call Lao Ma in. Huang Mei should also have such energy. Why should she wait in line and cry again and again? Isn't queuing just for people like me who ride broken bicycles? Lu Ligan was curious not only about Huang Mei, but also about the man behind Huang Mei. Who was this man? Lu Ligan now believes that the reason why Huang Mei left in the middle of the night was of course because of this man, and she could not stay out all night without returning home. Lu Ligan looked at the time. Wen Wen and Qian should have gotten off work. Why should he guard the empty bed here? He got out of bed, got dressed, and the TV was playing Yeltsin's right hand on the red according to the oath sworn in the Constitution. The person standing behind him in black robes should be the Patriarch of the Orthodox Church. Lu Ligan didn't bother to turn off the TV, so he pulled out the room card and went out. When they arrived at the front desk downstairs, 2 waiters were sleeping on the table inside. Lu Ligan clicked the room card twice on the marble table. One of them raised his head and looked at him sleepily. Lu Ligan and she said check out and handed over the room card. The waiter said oh, took the room card, looked at the room number on the room card, put it aside, and continued to sleep. Lu Ligan stood for a while and understood. This meant that even the room fee no need to tie it yourself. Lu Ligan walked out of the door and took a deep breath. In the second half of the night in Haikan, the sea breeze finally felt a little cooler. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 263. The next morning, Lu Ligan woke up and looked at the time. It was already past 9 o'clock. He was startled. Then he looked at the alarm clock on the table. The 8 o'clock he had set had been set to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Lu Ligan knew that this must be Wen Wen or Kinkin's fault. The two of them hated his alarm clock. One said that he was woken up just after falling asleep, and the other said, humming chickens if he didn't scream, you would. Lu Ligan looked over and saw that these two people were still sleeping like 2 little pigs. He had no time to care about them at the moment. Lu Ligan got up quickly and washed his face randomly. He brushed his teeth too hard and the toothbrush hit the roof of his mouth. It was pierced. Lu Li put the tip of his pole under the faucet, took a mouthful of water, gulped it twice, and spat it out, which was all bloody water. He grinned and didn't bother to care about it. He hurried downstairs and rode his bicycle to the Longja building. Lu Ligan arrived at the door of the office and saw Xiaolin and Cao walking, with 2 people, sitting in the corridor at the door. There were tools, 2 large barrels of latex paint, and a cardboard box of fluorescent tubes piled beside them. They were here to help him paint the walls, replace light bulbs and wall plugs. On the day he rented this place, Lu Ligan asked Zhang Chen to help him take a look. The original tenant couldn't survive the renovation for more than a year and moved out. The decoration was basically still new. Zhang Chen saw that neither the ceiling nor the floor needed to be redone. Only the walls were left. Probably the employees of this company, who had not been paid for a long time, turned their resentment into the art of swearing. Obscene words were written with pens everywhere on the walls. There are also illustrations that need to be repainted. None of the wall plugs on the wall were intact. They were all kicked to pieces by angry employees. Many of the light tubes on the top did not light up, so Xiaolin and Cao Qiuqing appeared here. Lu Ligan asked Zhang Chen if he needed to pay Panchi. Zhang Chen said, "Don't worry about it. Do you think you have sufficient funds now? If the money has been spent and the license has not been issued, would you be embarrassed to ask Sun Ho again?" Lu Ligan chuckled and stopped. In fact, Zhang Chen had already said hello to Gu Shufang. Gu Shufang said that it was appropriate to help a friend, but Zhang Chen still told Cao Qiuqing that you would pay for the materials here separately and I would pay you. "Where is Mr. Zhang?" Lu Ligan asked Cao Qiuqing, and Cao Qiuqing told him that he was downstairs. Lu Ligan arrived at Li Yang's office downstairs. Zhang Chen, Li Yang, and Chen Qiang were sitting and chatting. When Lu Ligan came in, Zhang Chen stood up and told him, "Let's go." The two of them went downstairs and rode their motorcycles to Mr. Xie's factory. In Mr. Xie's factory, there were a lot of office furniture piled up. They were bought back to be used as samples. However, the furniture factory was not open, so the furniture was piled in the factory. Inside, Lu Ligan's office is more than 100 square meters, with only 2 lonely desks, which were borrowed from Li Yang's company. Lu Ligan called Mr. Xie and they are now going to pick out some office furniture. They picked 3 desks, a small conference table, a set of sofas, 2 cabinets, and matching chairs in the warehouse. After choosing, Lu Ligan asked the person in charge of the warehouse to count the money. The other person said, "Mr. Xie, I've told you, no money is allowed. Whatever you need, just take it away." Lu Ligan said, "How is this possible? Money must be paid." The other party smiled and said, "I don't dare to make the decision on this. You can either call Mr. Xie and I will accept it if he says." Lu Ligan used the phone in the warehouse to call Mr. Xie. Mr. Xie said that it was piled there and rotten. "If you open a company and you can help, I, Mr. Xie, would be happy." "Be happy, but you still have to collect money," Lu Ligan said. "Why, are you looking down on me, Lao Xie?" Mr. Xie chuckled and said, "Well, when you get the license and officially open the business, you can just treat me, Lao Xie, to a drink." When it came to this matter, Lu Ligan could not continue talking, so he could only call a car and take the furniture back. Looking at the empty office, Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan said, "There are no other people here now, so there is no need to make partitions for the time being. I will ask the carpenter to help you make several long square frames and put green in the squares. Plants are used to divide this place into different areas. A conference table is placed here, and a sofa and office desk are placed there. It is simple, economical, and unique." Lu Ligan hesitated. Zhang Chen glanced at him and cursed, "Don't open your mouth, I know what you are thinking. You think you'd better have a very grand office, with an executive desk, executive chairs, and the best outside there's also a pretty female assistant sitting there." In front of Mr. Xie's factory, Lu Ligan was staring at a 2-meter-long executive desk and wanted to pull him away, but Zhang Chen stopped him. Lu Ligan laughed after being told the truth by Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen said sternly, "Gangzi, let me tell you, when cooperating with others, you can't have any intentions in this regard. It will make people think that you are just a person who is greedy for vanity and enjoyment. You want to show off before the business has started, look like a boss, and this office should be clean enough for use." After a pause, Zhang Chen continued, "When you officially open here, their president will definitely come. Think about it, what kind of company is Sun Ho and others? If they want to be stylish, they will be more stylish than you. Moreover, the company here in Hainan, the establishment of the company can be regarded as their work achievement. Next, the reception and delivery of their superior units will also make you responsible. Don't worry, when they come, they will definitely feel that this place is not grand enough and ask for renovation. Otherwise, there are still offices with more than 20 square meters in this building. Why would Sun Ho rent such a big room? He must have this. I have an idea, but I can't tell you about it without the approval of their president. This office does look a bit shabby now, but the proposal to decorate the office can only be made by them, not you, do you understand? After all, they are the ones who provide the money. Don't give people the impression that you are spending other people's money without feeling sorry for them at all. Otherwise, you will lose other people's trust. When Zhang Chen was talking, he thought of the Northeastern restaurant. He knew that for public institutions like them, the face in front of the leaders was more important than anything else. They would not report to the leaders excitedly that they were in Hainan. What an amazing thing we did, but when the leader came and took a look, he found it was not impressive at all. But on the other hand, they can't stand it. You spend so much money without your consent. Big decisions need to be made by leaders themselves. Otherwise, what else do leaders need to do? How can leaders' outstanding abilities be demonstrated? Zhang Chen, when did you become so articulate? When you talk about it, you still talk about it? Lu Ligan cursed, but he was convinced in his heart. He felt that he was such a coquettish guy, and he had no choice but to follow his own mood and just go faster and faster on the road of being a coquettish guy. Fortunately, Zhang Chen would put on the brakes for him. His brakes are always applied just right. Lu Ligan thought of Mr. Xia again. On the other hand, Mr. Xia was teaching him how to strategize and obtain his best interests. Zhang Chen was reminding him that running a company is about being a human being. Lu Ligan had to admit that, both men's words make sense. Zhang Chen handed the keys of the motorcycle to Lu Ligan and told him that there was still something to do at the construction site and I would go back in a car. Lu Ligan asked, "What are you doing?" "You keep the car. I just go from Wanghalu to Wenmingdong every day. I'm not even happy to ride a bicycle. You run here and there every day, and you have to go all the way to meet Lu Yunqui Bridge at night. You need it?" Lu Ligan thought it made sense and accepted the key without being polite. He looked at the time and saw that it was already 1:40 or 2:10 in the afternoon. The two forms and the ID cards of Sun Ho and the president, they will be taken to Haikan, and Lu Ligan needs to go to the airport to wait. "Let's go, I'll take you there, I'm going to the airport to pick up the goods," Lu Ligan and Zhang Chen said. Lu Ligan took Zhang Chen to Wanghai Tower. He followed Zhang Chen's office and asked Zhang Chen to help him write a name on a newspaper. The flight Lu Ligan was waiting for was about to arrive. He stood at the exit. When he saw someone coming out, he quickly spread the newspaper and raised it above his head. A young man saw him from a distance and waved to Lu Ligan. When he put his hand down, he pointed to himself. He handed a sealed file bag to Lu Ligan. Lu Ligan opened it and took a look. The two forms inside were filled out, and the places where signatures and seals were required were also sealed. There was also a Sun Ho and the others inside. ID card of the president. Lu Ligan picked up the company name pre-registration approval letter, took a look at it, and almost laughed out loud. When Lu Ligan saw the approval letter, the first company name was the one they had agreed upon, Hainan Jinghai Real Estate Co., Limited. Beijing means Beijing, and the C means Haikan, and Jinghai means cooperation between the two places. What made Lu Ligan funny was that the third one in the queue was actually Hainan Ligan Real Estate Co., Limited. When Lu Ligan was on the phone with Sun Ho, he relayed what the staff member of the Industrial and Commercial Bureau said. The third name actually meets the requirements of being remote, and most people would not think of it. But, if I use this name, it would be too cool. Wouldn't it become my own company? This monkey, haha. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 264. Lu Ligan took the documents and immediately went to the Municipal Bureau of Industry and Commerce. This time he was familiar with the road. He went directly to the third floor and lined up outside the Office of Enterprise Registration, 1. When it was Lu Ligan's turn, he saw sitting there was the middle-aged woman from yesterday. Lu Ligan still took out a pack of Zonghua, put it on the table, and pushed it over. This time the other person raised his head and saw that it was Lu Ligan. He smiled, opened the drawer, swept the cigarettes in, and closed it. When I opened the drawer, I said thank you. Lu Ligan handed her 2 forms. She seemed surprised and asked, "Are you really flying back to Beijing so soon?" Lu Ligan didn't bother to explain. He said and what he was thinking was, fly back to Beijing? I have grown so old that I have never even flown on a plane, so I just walked around the airport. ID card. Lu Ligan handed her his and the president's ID cards. She looked at them, gave them back to Lu Ligan, and told him to go to the first floor to make copies, and then bring them up to me. Lu Ligan ran to the first floor and saw that in the corridor on the left side of the first floor, there was a big sign with the word copy hanging on it. There was a queue under the word, and Lu Ligan got into the queue. Looking at the slowly moving team, Lu Ligan wondered who these people were. Now that the economy is so sluggish, so many companies in Haikan can't survive. He didn't expect that the person who applied for the business license could still there are so many. Lu Ligan thought of what Mr. Xia said, that there are 3 types of companies in the world every day. It really makes sense. It costs 2 yuan to make a photocopy of an ID card. Lu Ligan paid 4 yuan and went upstairs. There was no need to queue up this time. He went straight in and gave the photocopy to the staff member. She said, "Give me the original too." Following Lu Ligan, a colleague from their unit who was similar in age to Lu Ligan came in. He stood between Lu Ligan and the middle-aged woman. He didn't say anything, and just rummaged through the dozens of cigarettes on the table with his hands. After looking for it, the middle-aged woman tapped his hand with the pen in her hand and cursed. Some of them were drawn, but they still picked. The man chuckled, "I'll just pick 2 Chinese ones." As he spoke, he picked up 2 pieces of Chinese medicine and went out. Only then did Lu Ligan understand why when he pushed the whole package of Chinese medicine to her, she had to quickly sweep it into the drawer, otherwise the whole package would be taken away by her colleagues, and she would suffer too much loss. Lu Ligan gave her 2 ID cards. She compared them with the photocopies, and then wrote verified with the originals on the photocopies. After writing, she returned the ID cards to Lu Ligan. Lu Ligan asked, "Do I still need the original ID card?" "Yours is required. When you finally get the license, you still need your ID card. His is not required, just a copy. However, if you go to the bank and tax, they should still need it." "Who asked you to register this company?" "He is the legal person." Lu Ligan thought to himself, "I hope the legal person is me, but will they be willing?" "Okay, young man, it will take 3 working days. If we check that no one has already used these 3 names of yours, then I will have no problem here." "What if someone has already used it?" "It depends on the industry. If he is not in the same industry as you, that's fine." "Okay, thank you sister." Lu Ligan left the Industrial and Commercial Bureau and walked back. He passed by a public phone and called Huang Mei. He did not dare to call Chen Qiang or Li Yang's office. If they knew that he was having sex with other women besides Lu Yun, if you do it you will be angry, especially Li Yang. After hanging up the phone, Lu Ligan squatted beside the shop and finished smoking a cigarette. Huang Mei didn't call back. He stood up, dialed the paging station, and asked the other party to press the button 3 times in a row. Lu Ligan squatted aside and continued to smoke. After finishing another cigarette, Huang Mei still didn't call back. What the hell? Lu Ligan stood up, paid the money, got on his motorcycle and left. While riding on the road, Lu Ligan thought to himself, would Huang Meli be discovered by the old man and put under control? Or perhaps, he was just an appetizer for her, and after eating it, he didn't bother to talk to her. Didn't she say that she stayed at Wanghai Tower a few nights ago? Who knows who she is with? In the next few days, Huang Meli seemed to disappear out of thin air. Lu Ligan docked her once every morning and evening, but she never called back once. 3 days later, Lu Ligan went to the business registration office on the third floor of the Industrial and Commercial Bureau, 1, and got the company name pre-registration approval letter. Of course, he also gave him a pack of Zonghua. The staff member was an old acquaintance of Lu Ligan. When she handed the approval letter to Lu Ligan, she said to him, "You are lucky. There is a hotel in Haikan called Jinghai Shenzidu. However, it has nothing to do with real estate. It is a hot spring bath house." Lu Ligan held this thin page and felt it was heavy. He saw the bottom 3 columns. The section chief, division chief, and director signed their signatures respectively. Lu Ligan opened his eyes wide. He saw enterprise registration in the science opinion column. I agree that the name below is Majiguo. Lu Lizan lowered his voice and asked the staff member, "Sister, is this hemp section chief really the hemp section chief?" The other party obviously knew what he meant. She looked at the door, smiled and nodded. Lu Ligan couldn't help laughing and shouted, "This is really destined by God." The other party rolled his eyes at him and cursed softly, "Are you cheating? Keep your voice down." "Okay, sister," Lu Ligan said with a smile, "can I just use this to go next door to get the form?" The other party waved his hand, "Go ahead, go ahead." Lu Ligan retreated to the corridor and queued outside the Office of Enterprise Registration, 2. After queuing for more than half an hour, it was his turn. The staff member inside was a young man. Lu Ligan walked over and handed over a bag of 3 and 5 handed to him and say, "Please smoke." The other party glanced at Lu Ligan, took it, opened the drawer on the side, and threw the cigarettes in. Lu Ligan saw that there were many loose cigarettes inside. Lu Ligan took out a cigarette from his pocket and handed another one to the other person. He held one in his mouth, lit the lighter and stretched it out. The other person quickly put the cigarette in his mouth, and Lu Ligan lit it for him, then lit it again. "Hold your own." Lu Ligan handed him the business name pre-registration approval letter. He took it, glanced at it, and said casually, "Strange, why have you registered a real estate company in the past 2 days?" Lu Ligan was shocked and asked quickly, "Boss, are there many registered real estate companies now?" "Not many," the other party corrected, "but there used to be only 1 or 2 a month, but now there are several every day. Yours is already the second one today." Lu Ligan's heart brightened. Based on his intuition, he had a premonition that the water in Chunjiang had warmed up, and he needed to hurry up. Lu Ligan took out another pack of cigarettes from his bag and handed it to the other party. This time, the other party was a little surprised. Lu Ligan said, "I have never gone through the company's procedures before. Please help me. Can you remind me to fill in these? Regarding information, where is the most likely place to go wrong? We also have a shareholder in Beijing. It would be too troublesome to have to fly back and forth just once to make any changes. It should." As he spoke, the other party took the entire set of information from the shelf on the side, and took out a pencil from the pen holder on the table. He flipped through the stack of information page by page, and explained to Lu Ligan all the things that needed to be covered. Where the seal was to be stamped, he used a pencil to draw a circle. Where the signature was required, he drew a triangle, and where both the seal and signature were to be stamped, it was a combination of a circle and a triangle. Lu Ligan thanked him repeatedly and left the Industrial and Commercial Bureau with this set of information. Although it was already 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Lu Ligan went directly to the airport. One flight to Beijing had just left, and there was another flight at 8:40 p.m. Lu Ligan found the check-in counter. Check-in had not started yet, and the counter was empty. Lu Ligan leaned against the counter and waited. After waiting for more than half an hour, he saw a couple approaching with bags on their backs. Lu Ligan quickly asked them if they were going to Beijing. The other party said yes. Lu Ligan told them the matter and took out 100 yuan to give them. The other party happily accepted it. Lu Ligan stuffed the documents into the portfolio in front of them. This portfolio came from Beijing in the afternoon. Lu Ligan wrapped the white cotton thread on the seal of the portfolio and handed it to the other party. The other party took it and said to Lu Ligan, "Don't worry, buddy." When Lu Ligan rushed to Zhang Chen's office from the airport, it was almost 7 o'clock. Zhang Chen was not there and the office door was closed. Lu Ligan cursed, "There must be something wrong with this bastard." He walked to the workshed but couldn't find Cao Kuoking, so he went to the training hall to have a look. It was still early and there was no one inside. When Lu Ligan walked back, he saw Cao Kuoking standing in the big building heading towards Wuzishan Road. At the door, I was standing chatting with 3 or 4 people. Lu Ligan shouted, "Xiao Cao, Xiao Cao." When Xiao Cao heard the shouting, he turned around and saw Lu Ligan and ran over quickly. Lu Ligan told him, "Open the office door and I'll make a call." Cao Kuoking opened the office door, and Lu Ligan said to him, "Go ahead. I'll hold the door when I leave." Cao Kuoking walked towards Wuzishan Road again. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 265. Lu Ligan called Sun Zhenqiu's office, but no one answered the phone. Lu Ligan panicked. He thought that he was only focused on sending the materials to Beijing early and forgot that it was already midnight when the plane arrived in Beijing. If Sun Ho and the others had not received this, and the other party did not have their contact information, this material would have wandered around Beijing. While Lu Ligan detained Chen Qiang, he thought, it seems that from now on, the addresses and phone numbers of both parties must be written on the documents to be exchanged. Just in case, it is best to also indicate that when making a phone call, the recipient will pay double the phone bill and other expenses. If someone is kind enough to deliver it to your door, you have to give the fare to them, right? Otherwise, people won't even bother to make a call and just throw it into the trash can. Chen Qiang called back, and Lu Ligan told Chen Qiang about the situation. Qiang said it was okay. His father and wife were very strict with Sun Ho. He usually didn't dare to fool around outside after get off work. He went home directly. If you hit him at home, telephone. Chen Qiang told Lu Ligan the phone number of Sun Zhenqiu's home. Lu Ligan called and the person who answered the phone was a man, not Sun Ho. Lu Ligan thought he was Sun Ho's father and quickly called Uncle Sunday. The other party was a little embarrassed and talked to Lu Ligan. Li Pang said, "My surname is not Sun, but I am the secretary of the chief." Lu Ligan felt a shiver in his heart. There was a secretary in this family. How big an official should Sun Ho's father be? No wonder Lu Yun and Li Yong both said that his family had a background. Lu Ligan quickly told Secretary Li that he wanted to see Sun Zhenqiu and tell him something urgent at work. The other party said, "Wait a moment." There was silence on the phone for a while, and then the voice came, and it was Sun Ho. Lu Ligan breathed a sigh of relief. He told Sun Ho his flight number, arrival time in Beijing and his name, and said to him, "I'm sorry, time is urgent, and you will have to run to the airport in the middle of the night." "It's okay, Pol, shouldn't it be? I'm still looking forward to running every day and at midnight, as long as the license can be obtained early." Sun Zhenqiu laughed. Lu Ligan told Sun Ho what he learned in the Industrial and Commercial Bureau today, and Sun Ho shouted, "Great, Gangzi. This information is too important, I will tell the president immediately." After talking to Sun Zhenqiu on the phone, Lu Ligan dunked Huang Meili again. After waiting for a long time, there was still no response. Lu Ligan cursed, stood up and walked out. It was completely dark outside. Lu Ligan got on his motorcycle and decided to go to Lu Yun's place. The next morning, as soon as Lu Ligan entered Li Yang's office, Li Yang told him that he was looking for you. Hey, here it is. He handed a piece of paper to Lu Ligan with the flight number and name written on it, and said, arrived at 12:30 noon. So fast, Lu Ligan was surprised. Yes, Sun Ho received your call last night and told the president. They called the director of the office in charge of seals back to the bank. The three of them finished the documents overnight. Sun Ho also asked me to tell you, your judgment is correct, they have inquired about it, and there may be some action in the real estate sector recently, and many people have probably heard the news. At noon, Lu Ligan went to the airport and received the materials. The Industrial and Commercial Bureau did not open until 2 o'clock. Lu Ligan went to Zhang Chen's office, opened the file bag, and signed the places where he should sign one by one. After checking it over, he sorted it out and put it back into the document bag. He raised his head and saw Zhang Chen looking at him. Lu Li shook the pen in his hand and said to Zhang Chen, "Why do I feel like my pen is getting heavier and heavier? Brother, my name is worth a bit more now. I now understand why many people want to practice signing." Zhang Chen laughed, "Why don't I feel this at all, but I do think of Mr. Xiet. I don't even know the words, but his own name is better than yours." Lu Ligan used a pen to write on the back cover of a carpet sample book on the table. After writing, he raised it up and asked Zhang Chen, "Is my signature ugly? Come on, help me design one. From now on, I have to get used to signing autographs every day. I can design it for you, but..." Zhang Chen pretended not to continue. "It's nothing, tell me quickly." Lu Li was anxious. Zhang Chen smiled and said, "If you write according to the design I gave you, the Industrial and Commercial Bureau will not give you a license if your handwriting is inconsistent." Lu Ligan was stunned. This was really a problem. He said, "Forget it, we'll wait until we get the license." Lu Ligan stood up and was about to leave, saying he was going to the Industrial and Commercial Bureau. Zhang Chen looked at the time, it was only 1 o'clock, and asked curiously, "Why are you going so early? Go and line up. Time is tight. I have to be the first in line. If this needs to be revised, I still have time to bring things back to Beijing today. Let me tell you, yesterday even Sun Ho and his colleagues had to work overtime in the middle of the night. Drive this one out. Why are you in such a hurry?" Lu Ligan told Zhang Chen what he heard at the Industrial and Commercial Bureau and what Li Yang relayed in the morning. He said to him, "I think our opportunity has come. This is inside information. Whether we can make a fortune depends on this. Although Chinatown is gone, we can still fight for another round. Zhang Chen, tell me, is it possible for us to build a Yongcheng building in Haikan? That would be awesome." Zhang Chen smiled and said, "Okay, I can draw one, and you can use your words and awesomeness to build it. We have no ambition. The boss of Niajiang building just came to Haikan with 2,000 yuan to start his own business. Damn, don't we even have 2,000 yuan, Lu Ligan glared at Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen continued to laugh and said, "Go on, you can either go to the Industrial and Commercial Bureau, put a brick in it and come back to brag." Lu Ligan also laughed. He knew what Zhang Chen meant. When they were children, they were kicked out by the adults before dawn. At that time, whether it was meat, hairtail fish, or anything else, there was always a long queue to buy almost anything. The food is rationed, and if you are at the back of the queue, it will be sold out. They are rushed by adults to occupy seats. Often, when you arrive, you will find that there are many chairs and small stools in front of you, and there are many bricks on the ground. When the sale is about to start, there will be more people. Every chair, stool, and brick has its own owner. Someone comes and claims to be arranging the rows on their own behalf. The chairs and stools are easy to distinguish, but the bricks are troublesome. People often quarrel over the ownership of the bricks. Children like Lu Ligan and Zhang Chen go to line up together. What they like to do most is that when people in line are not paying attention, they use their feet to push away the bricks in front of them piece by piece. The others cover each other and move them away. Throw them all far away. When the people who were ready to claim the bricks arrived, they couldn't find their bricks anywhere, so they were yelling at them while pretending to look innocent. There are no more bricks. Of course, these people can't prove their qualifications for ranking. They can't get to the front. They can only go to the back of the team obediently. If they force their way to the front, what will break out is a war between adults and children. Watch the show. The bricks Zhang Chen mentioned came out here, and Lu Ligan laughed. How about I carry a bag of cement over there? Lu Ligan arrived at the Industrial and Commercial Bureau and climbed to the third floor. He was dumbfounded when he saw business registrations, 1, 2, and 3. There were already more than a dozen people lined up in front of each door. Damn it, Lu Ligan thought to himself, is it possible that no matter when he comes over, he will never be the first in line, just like when he was a child, he was taken out of the warm bed by adults in the winter and kicked out. No matter how hard he rushed, he never made it to the top 10. Lu Ligan walked in. The young man already knew him and said, "So fast." Lu Ligan said, "There is no way, the pressure from above is tight, we can only break our legs." The other person nodded sympathetically. When Lu Ligan took out the cigarette, he had already opened the drawer on the side. Lu Ligan threw the cigarette in. Just as the other party was about to close it, Lu Ligan said wait, and he took out another pack of Zonghua. Throwing it in, the other party smiled knowingly. He took Lu Ligan's document and read it page by page. Lu Ligan's heart was pounding. The young man stopped and clicked on the paper with his hand. Lu Ligan's heart was about to explode. The sweat on his face stopped, and he saw that there was still a place pointed by the other party's finger that Sun Ho and the other president had missed signing. Lu Ligan became anxious and asked, "What should I do? Leader, please help me. I can't sign for this one. I have to fly to Beijing again." The other party looked at him indifferently. After a while, he took a piece of paper that had been signed by Sun Ho and the president. He tapped it with his finger, took out a black pen from the pen holder, and placed it on the missing sign. On that page, he told Lu Ligan, "That won't work, the signature must be reissued here." As he said this, he stood up, walked to the door, and said to the queue, "Everyone is lined up. I'll call the next one to come in." Lu Ligan understood what he meant. He quickly put the missing piece of paper over the president's signature, traced the signature, and compared it. He found it was quite similar. The young man came back, took a look, remained calm, sat down and continued reading what he had not finished, and said to Lu Ligan, "That's it, it's all done." Lu Ligan let out a long breath. He opened the drawer, put in the unopened packs of cigarettes, and closed the drawer. "Leader, let me ask, how many days does the review take?" This is not necessarily the case. The section chief, division chief, and director have all seen it. The young man looked at him and added, "The leaders also have other work, right? They have meetings, business trips, and inspections." "Not necessarily, really, just wait patiently, once all the materials are in place, you can always get the license in the end, you can rest assured." "Damn it, that's not accurate." Lu Ligan saw that this young man's attitude was very serious when he spoke. In addition, Huang Mei had given him relevant common sense beforehand, so he knew that it was indeed not his decision. Lu Ligan I thanked the young man and walked out. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Yang. Chapter 266. Lu Ligan walked along the corridor to the end of Section Chief Ma's office. He wanted to see what Chief Ma looked like outside the door first, and then come up with a plan to get close to him, and then launch an attack, starting from the young man. From what he said just now, Lu Ligan had already felt that it would definitely not work if he did not save the country through curves. You always get a license in the end, damn it, is this still a human saying? Even if I delay it for a year and a half, I can finally get it. The door to Chief Ma's office was closed. Lu Ligan didn't dare to knock on the door before he thought about it. Just as he was hesitating, a man walked out from next door. Seeing his strange expression, he asked, "Who are you looking for?" "Oh, let me see if Section Chief Ma is here," Lu Ligan said. "No, I'm in a meeting." After the other party finished speaking, he looked at Lu Ligan with his eyes, and Lu Ligan had no choice but to retreat. When Lu Ligan arrived at the stairs, he met the young man from Enterprise Registration, too. When he came up from downstairs, he saw Lu Ligan and shouted, "Oh, you are still here. I just went downstairs to chase you. There is still one item missing from your materials." "Ah," Lu Ligan exclaimed, "what else is missing?" The man said nothing and just walked towards the office. Lu Ligan followed behind, feeling very anxious. After walking back to the office and sitting down, he said to Lu Ligan, "I just forgot to tell you, you can now show the company name pre-registration approval letter. Is this not lost? It's still there. How dare you throw it away? You can use this to engrave the official seal, financial seal, and corporate seal, and then go to the bank to open a capital verification account and transfer the registered capital. The bank will give you a capital certificate. You can send this capital certificate to me. Only after you get this, everything is complete, and then I can hand over your materials. This is it?" "Yes, I was confused by your signature just now and forgot to explain it to you." Lu Ligan breathed a sigh of relief. Isn't this what he wanted to do? That being said, it's not time to look for Section Chief Ma yet, but fortunately there's no knock on the door. Lu Ligan felt that the other party was not confused by his signature, but was confused by the many packs of cigarettes he had stuffed in at once. "By the way, which bank do I need to open an account at?" Lu Ligan asked. "Overseas branch, any branch is fine." Lu Ligan thanked the young man and walked out. He remembered that there was a seal engraving shop in Boa South, so he went there. The seal would not be available until the next day. Lu Ligan arrived at Zhang Chen's office. The door was open and Zhang Chen was not there. Lu Ligan called Sun Ho and informed him of the progress here. Sun Ho heard that all the industrial and commercial materials were ready, and now all he needed was the funds to prove it. Sun Ho was also very happy. He said, "Go to Lin Yiyan's place tomorrow and ask Lin Yiyan to call me. She knows what to do. We can transfer the registered capital tomorrow." Sun Ho was happy, and Lu Ligan was also happy. He detained Huang Meili again. He wanted to tell her about his situation here, and also told her that according to the young man in front, if he could get the license, he would still be able to get it. It has to go through the director and director. In this way, it is not enough to just get a hemp section chief. It is 3 times more difficult, and the order of getting it done is also critical. Lu Ligan always felt that Huang Meili knew more than him in this regard and she could help him. There is another person who can help him but he can't speak, that is Jin Lili. Lu Ligan felt that it was easy for Jin Lili to get a license. Thinking about it, they could handle the director, but they couldn't handle a director? Director Wang of the Urban Construction Bureau, in the eyes of others, is also a person with an upturned chin. Through Jin Lili, I went to find him, and he almost regarded me as a brother. But the reason Lu Ligan didn't want to go to Jin Lili was that he knew very well that Jin Lili's relationship was actually Mr. Xia's relationship. If he ran his own company and relied on Mr. Xia's help, Lu Ligan felt that in a certain sense, to put it bluntly, it was a betrayal of Zhang Chen and not worth it. Even if the company didn't manage it, it wasn't worth betraying Zhang Chen. The next morning, Lu Ligan went to Boa South Road and successfully obtained the complete set of seals. He then went to Haifa International Trade Branch and found Lin Yiyan. Lin Yiyan and Sun Zhenqiu talked on the phone for a few minutes before they understood what to do. She led Lu Ligan to the counter on the first floor to open a capital verification account. She also took Lu Ligan's ID card and opened a passbook for him. Lu Ligan asked curiously, "I don't have any money to save, so why do I need a passbook? Your company has a registered capital of 50 million, and you have 30% of the shares, 15 million. Do you have it? Of course Sun Ho and the others will come over, but the money must first go to your account, and then be transferred to your account. Verify the capital account so that it can be regarded as your investment, do you understand?" Lin Yiyan opened the passbook and kept it together with Lu Ligan's ID card. She did not return it to him. She also took a transfer slip and asked Lu Ligan to sign it. She gave the capital verification account and Lu Ligan's passbook. The number was told to Sun Zhenqiu, and Sun Ho said yes, I would arrange it immediately. Lin Yiyan and Lu Ligan said, "Leave the things with me, Sun Ho and the others will arrange the funds immediately, and they will arrive in the account tomorrow morning. You can come over at noon tomorrow to get the fund certificate and bank statements." At noon the next day, Lu Ligan went to Lin Yiyan. Lin Yiyan handed him a fund certificate to prove that the funds in their capital verification account were in place, and gave him a capital statement showing that the 50 million, they were imported from the bank books of Sun Ho and his company and Lu Ligan's. Lin Yiyan said, "Just give these two things to the Industrial and Commercial Bureau. Gangzi, let me give you another good thing to keep as a souvenir." Lin Yiyan smiled and gave him a bank book. Lu Lipol opened it and took a look. The bank book was his own name, and it showed that it was transferred at 9:10 a.m. 15 million was paid, and at 9:14, 15 million was transferred. Holy shit, in these 4 minutes, I'm a multimillionaire. Lu Ligan shouted, and Lin Yiyan chuckled, "Yeah, is it enjoyable? It's so enjoyable. I'm going to keep this until I can satisfy Zhang Chen later." Lu Ligan said, "By the way, Yiyan, where has this money gone now? Your capital verification account has been frozen. What's the meaning? No one can move. Is it all yours?" Haha, Lin Yiyan couldn't help but laugh, holding her big belly in her hands, and cursed, "Zinzi, are you trying to make me laugh and give birth prematurely? Do you think our bank is so easy to open? Now all 50 million is ours. Didn't you say that no one can touch it? It's in your bank. If it can't be touched, it doesn't belong to your bank." "Okay, I didn't make it clear," Lin Yiyan said, "it's a temporary freeze. You get your business license, then go to the tax bureau to apply for a tax registration certificate. After that, come to us and open a basic corporate settlement account. This after the account is put into use, the funds in the capital verification account will be transferred to your basic account, and then can be transferred back to Sun Ho and the others." Well, although it is wrong to transfer this back to Sun Ho and the others, it is considered as evading the registered capital, but this is what everyone does. No fool can let how much registered capital is in his account, so I understand. Well, the registered capital is large because the business license looks good and makes people feel that the company is strong. So when registering, everyone is trying to find ways to borrow money to make the registered capital larger, and then pay it back after registration. This is what everyone does. Don't look at the 30 to 50 million companies. In fact, they are all empty shells, they don't have that much money. Are you scolding me? Yes, you count as one, but fortunately, this money is not yours, but at least it belongs to the shareholders. Sun Ho and the others are really rich," Lin Yiyan said with a smile. "Okay, do you have any more questions, Multimillionaires. No, I, a multimillionaire, have to rush to the Industrial and Commercial Bureau immediately. It depends on people's faces, Lu Ligan said, waving to Lin Yiyan. Lu Ligan arrived at the business registration office of the Industrial and Commercial Bureau, too, and stood at the door to take a look. There was a man sitting next to the young man's desk, going through the formalities. The young man looked up and saw Lu Ligan at the door and waved to him. Waving his hand, Lu Ligan walked in and gave him the 2 papers. He looked at them and said, "So fast? Your work efficiency is really high. There's nothing we can do." Lu Ligan said, thinking in his mind, "Is it quick? 3 more days have passed. I know, if the boss opens his mouth, his legs will be broken." The young man took over Lu Ligan's words. "Yep. Okay, we have all the materials. Go back and wait for notification. We will detain you." "Thanks." As Lu Ligan spoke, he opened the drawer next to him and put a pack of cigarettes in. The man sitting there working on something suddenly felt embarrassed when he saw it. Among the many loose cigarettes in the drawer, there was one. It was given by him. Lu Ligan arrived downstairs and was about to get on the motorcycle when the BB machine in his waist rang. He looked at it and felt that the phone number was familiar yet unfamiliar. He was stunned for a moment and couldn't help but feel a burst of ecstasy. Wasn't this what he was talking about that day? In Chen's office, did Huang Meili deduct her own number? The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 267. Lu Ligan called back, and it turned out to be Huang Meili. Huang Meili asked on the phone, "Lao Ma, where are you?" Lu Ligan told her that he had just come out of the Industrial and Commercial Bureau. "Wait there, I'll come and pick you up." Huang Meili couldn't help but hang up the phone after saying that. Lu Ligan walked back to the entrance of the Industrial and Commercial Bureau, squatted on the curb, and finished smoking 2 cigarettes. He saw Huang Meili's convertible sports car in the distance, swaying all the way, and stopped in front of him. Huang Meili looked at Lu Lijan, chuckled, and Lu Lizan got into the car and asked, "Why are you laughing?" "Lao Ma, let me tell you, you are squatting on the roadside smoking, you really look like a blind drifter." "It's not like that, it's just that I drifted from Zhejiang to Hainan Island," Lu Ligan said with a smile. "Haha, I almost stepped on the accelerator and passed by. I was too embarrassed to let others see that I knew you. You can throw me down now. Forget it, everyone is here, and the shame has been lost. Let's be tolerant to you." Huang Meili still smiled. "I'm warning you, you are not allowed to insult a multimillionaire casually like this. Do you believe I will throw money at you to catch a cold?" Lu Ligan imitated the tone of speech of a Hainan asset. "You, a multimillionaire? Then you don't know how to support me." Huang Meili also learned the same. Lu Ligan took out the bank book and shook it. "Don't think I'm lying to you." Huang Meili turned to the direction, screeched to the side, stopped the car, and stretched out her hand. "Quickly show me, Lao Ma." Lu Ligan handed her the bank book. Huang Meili opened it, counted the string of zeros with her fingers, and shouted after counting, "It's true, Lao Ma, 15 million. Of course, for 4 minutes of the 24 hours today, I was a multimillionaire." Huang Meili giggled, "Why don't you take care of me in those 4 minutes, Lao Ma? I am willing to work as a cow or a horse for you." "It's okay to be a cow or a horse, cuddling is fine, but 4 minutes is a bit short, as you know," Lu Ligan joked. Huang Meili blushed and cursed, "I understand, Lao Ma, you are not a blind person, you are a gangster." "So what, it's not the first time I've been called a gangster, I've always been a gangster." When Lu Ligan said this, he thought of Lu Yun. Huang Meili restarted the car and stopped talking. The car turned around and arrived at Binhai Avenue. Huang Meili kept driving, and Lu Ligan didn't ask her where she was going. Anyway, as long as she stopped disappearing out of thin air. They drove all the way to Holiday Beach on the west coast. There was a sand-paved road on the right side of the road. Huang Mei turned the car in and drove to the beach below. Although it was summer, because it was too far away from Haikan, there were only scattered 4 or 5 cars were parked in an open space at the end of the road, and there were only a dozen or so people moving on the white beach. At that time, people in Haikan liked to go to Baishamen on Hadian Island for swimming. There were many simple shops and barbecue stalls on the beach there, as well as yurts for rent, where you could stay overnight. Huang Mei parked the car in the shade of a mangrove tree, with the front of the car facing the sea, without turning off the engine. The air conditioning in the car was blowing, making the surrounding hot and humid sea breeze pleasant. "Lao Ma, I haven't seen you for a few days. Do you miss me?" Huang Mei asked. "Have you missed me?" He, look at your BB camera, how many times have I buckled you? Are you cheating?" Huang Mei was quite satisfied with this answer. She said, "I have left the island, how can I receive your page?" "Have you left the island?" "Yes, that night, I drove to Guangzhou, and you slept like a pig, unable to wake up even if you shook me." Huang Mei said, "Old Ma, if you miss me, why don't you hit me? How do I know your eldest brother's number?" You, huh? I didn't use Big Brother to dunk you that day, and I will also use it today." Lu Li was stunned for a moment, and then he thought about it. Really, this unfamiliar number to him started with 9. How could he forget that it was a Big Brother? Alas, in normal times, few people use Big Brother to punish themselves. "I'm blind, how could I know that the number starting with 9 is the number of a Big Brother?" Lu Ligan chuckled. Idiot. Okay, I forgive you. Anyway, if you hit it normally, I can't pick it up. It's too heavy. I threw it in the car. I only hear the call when I'm in the car. By the way, why are you going to Guangzhou? Lu Ligan asked. Nothing. Huang Mei shook her head, her eyes became cold, and her face became calm. She stared blankly at the sea in front of her and didn't speak for a long time. In the distance on the sea, there are boats moving slowly, as if they are parked there. You have to look again after a while to see that they are farther or closer. These are the ferries between Haikan and Haiyan. Lu Ligan looked at her and saw that her face was a little pale, her brows were furrowed, and she was biting her lips. She looked worried and pitiful. Lu Ligan couldn't help but stretched out his hand and held her hand. Only then did she realize that her hands, and even her whole body, were trembling slightly. "What's wrong with you?" Lu Ligan asked. Huang Mei still shook her head. It's okay, Lao Ma." She looked at him and smiled reluctantly. The sky gradually darkened, and all the people and cars on the beach left. Huang Mei turned off the car. After the car motor finally made a sudden and slight crackling sound, everything was silent, and the sea breeze became cooler. The two people got out of the car, holding hands, and walked on the beach. The two people separated, leaning to the left and right, and the hands they were holding were stretched straight. Without this hand, the two people would have fallen to the side. They leaned to the farthest distance, and they used strength in unison, leaning in opposite directions. Their shoulders touched each other, and Huang Mei giggled. "Then come again." They just played like this and walked towards the end of the beach. They couldn't stop. As soon as they stopped, mosquitoes would bite them. Even when they walked around, they could always hear these mosquitoes following them and buzzing. Murmured. At the end of the beach was a huge rock. The two people climbed up and sat down on the top of the rock. When they arrived here, the buzzing sound finally disappeared, and their ears became clearer. The buzzing insects suddenly sounded again, and with a pop, Huang Mei slapped her thigh. She jumped up and giggled. No, Lao Ma, these mosquitoes are just like you, too, a gangster," she said, and jumped off the rock. Lu Ligan had no choice but to jump down too. Before he could stand still, Huang Mei shouted, "Let's compete to see who can reach the car first. 1, 2, 3 starts." Before counting to 3, she ran out by herself. When Lu Ligan came to his senses, Huang Mei had already run far away, and Lu Ligan started running after her. In the end, Huang Mei ran to the car first. The two of them stopped panting, and the buzzing sound started again. "Oh, it's here again, run." As Huang Mei said that, she got into the car and started the car. Lu Li climbed up, but before he could sit firmly on his butt, Huang Mei stepped on the accelerator, and the car turned in a semicircle in the open space and headed towards the road paved with sand. "Lao Ma, I wronged you," Huang Mei shouted as they drove onto Binhai Avenue. "What's the injustice? Those mosquitoes are more rogue than you." "Yes, they are my fellow villagers, I brought them here from Zhejiang," Lu Ligan shouted. Huang Mei patted the steering wheel and giggled. They still went to the hotel near the Wujiang temple, and it was the same box they had that day. It was already past 8 o'clock when they arrived today. Xiaolan took them into the room, and Huang Mei said to her, "Xiaolan, help me close the curtains." After sitting down, Huang Mei asked Lu Ligan, "I see you have all the registered capital in place. How is it going? Where are you now?" Huang Mei looked at Lu Ligan's bank book earlier. Without asking, she knew that this was the company's registered capital. It came from the company in Beijing. After registration, it had to be returned to that company. Lu Ligan told her that all the materials were ready and asked me to wait for notification. Then they will make you wait, and you will be chopped up by them. You will not come down if you press every day. If you wait stupidly, you will not come down. Lu Ligan nodded, "I think so too, but it seems that it's not just Lao Ma who needs to be dealt with, but also the director and director. They all need to sign." Lu Ligan then told Huang Mei what the young man said to him. After Huang Mei listened, she thought for a while and said, "Among these 3 people, you have to figure out who is the most critical, otherwise, this horse will, if your fart hits a horse in the face, bad things will happen." Lu Ligan said distressedly, "I just don't know who is the key person. As a treat, invite that young man out for dinner. Only their insiders know the internal situation best. Start with him and find this key person." "Yeah, why didn't I think of that?" Lu Ligan shouted. Huang Mei chuckled and said, "You are so stupid, how could you even think of that?" Huang Mei stretched out her hands across the table, held Lu Ligan's face, and said sympathetically, "Lao Ma, you are like this, what should you do?" Lu Li laughed loudly and cursed, "What happened to me?" "Okay," Huang Mei sighed, "looking at how pitiful you are, I will be your girlfriend tomorrow." Men like to brag when girls are around. When they brag, they can't control their mouths and will say anything. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 268. For the first time, Lu Ligan slept until 1 o'clock noon and woke up. This had never happened in the year he had been in Hiken. What made Lu Ligan strange was that hotels generally did not wake up at 12 o'clock noon. Click checkout, and when it's almost 12 o'clock, the front desk will call and urge the guests to check out. Is this Hiken hotel different? The room was quiet. Huang Mei didn't know where she went. Lu Ligan thought that she might have gone away while he was asleep like last time. Lu Ligan was thinking wildly when the door opened and Huang Mei came in. She was no longer wearing the same clothes as yesterday. She was holding 2 bags in her hands. When she entered the door, she shouted, "Lao Ma, get up quickly, I was starving to death, so we went to the Western restaurant on the 2nd floor to eat steak." Lu Lizan got out of bed and went to the sofa to get his clothes. Huang Mei shouted, "Lao Ma, you can't be so disgusting, are you still wearing dirty clothes?" Lu Ligan smiled and said, "Then I go out shirtless." Huang Mei came over, handed him the bag in her hand, and said to him, I bought you clothes, and you have to do errands in the afternoon. Dress appropriately. Who dares to go to dinner with a blind person? How much? Lu Ligan asked. Why, didn't you agree that I will be your girlfriend today? Huang Mei said, is your girlfriend so stingy? Lu Ligan knew that being polite was useless, so he carried the bag and went to the bathroom. After washing up and changing clothes, Huang Mei looked at him and nodded with satisfaction, not bad, he is even more handsome than I thought a little bit. Lu Ligan blushed when she said that. He thought to himself, he eats hers, lives in hers, and now even wears hers. She is being taken care of. Why the hell, he feels like he is being taken care of by her again. Although there is no trace, but that seems to be the case. This yellow beauty seems to be straightforward, but in fact she is very considerate and well behaved. She gives it to you, but it will not make you feel embarrassed. It seems to be inadvertent, or even moisturizing silently. When they were together, when she had to spend a small amount of money, Huang Mei would say, please treat me to refreshments or ice cream. But when it came to big money, such as where to eat, she would find an excuse. Let me tell you first, if I treat you to dinner, or go to Shanghai Hiken Hotel, the people at the front desk know her, and there is no need to register, and you don't even have the chance to spend money. For such a smart girl, no wonder someone would be willing to spend a lot of money. If he had money, Lu Ligan felt that he would support her. Huang Mei clasped her fingers together and pressed them against her chin, still staring at Lu Ligan for a while, then sighed, Lao Ma, tell me, what will I do if I fall in love with you? Lu Ligan didn't know how to answer this, so he had to joke and said, what should I do? Frying, stewing, stir-frying can be done. Disgusting, Huang Mei glared at him. Lu Ligan put the clothes he had changed into the two bags and asked Huang Mei, we have finished eating, are you still coming up? I won't come up. Huang Mei shook her head. Lu Ligan held the two bags in his hands and was about to take them down. Huang Mei opened her eyes wide and asked Lu Ligan, Lao Ma, are you going to take this to the restaurant? Yes, otherwise I would have to come up and get it later. Oh, no more. Okay. Lu Ligan threw the bag on the sofa. If you don't want it, don't want it. They are cheap goods anyway, and they are not worth the t-shirt Huang Mei bought for him. The two of them stayed in the western restaurant of Hiken Hotel until 2 o'clock. Huang Mei looked at the time and said to Lu Ligan, okay, let's go. Lu Ligan arrived at the enterprise registration, too, and saw the same young man sitting inside, so he walked in directly. The young man was talking to a person who came to do business. He looked up at him without saying anything. Lu Ligan stood aside. When the man went out, the young man did not ask the next person to come in. Instead, he moved his head and motioned Lu Ligan to sit down. It's so urgent. I just handed it in and you're here to rush me, the young man said lukewarmly. No, no, Lu Ligan quickly defended, I also know it won't be so fast. I'm not here to rush you today. Oh, what's the matter with you? I think so. Although we have only met a few times, I feel that we are particularly destined. I would like to invite you to have a meal with me. I hope the leader can give me face. There is no other intention, just a meal. Lu Ligan said. Just eating? That means there is no food, the young man laughed. There are dishes, Lu Ligan said quickly, pure eating, and, by the way, pure drinking. Haha, this statement is new. Seeing the other party's hesitation, Lu Ligan said, how about tonight? Tonight? The young man was embarrassed, tonight I promised to have dinner with my girlfriend. Let's go together, Lu Ligan shouted softly, my girlfriend is coming too, the four of us are just right. Anyway, we don't have any secrets that we can't let them know. Haha, okay. You get off work at 5:30, right? Luligan asked, then I will pick you up at the gate at 5:30, and then pick up your girlfriend. That's not necessary. My girlfriend is in the same company as me. Okay, then the two of us will come to pick you two up. All right. Luligan went downstairs. In the parking lot, Huang Mei's red car was very conspicuous. Luligan saw it from a distance. The sun was shining brightly. Huang Mei closed the hood of the car. Luligan came closer and saw that Huang Mei the car didn't turn off. She put down the seat and fell asleep with the sun hat covering her face. Luligan reached out and pulled the car door. The door was locked from the inside. Luligan smiled. Fortunately, his vigilance was quite high. Luligan thought for a moment and did not wake her up. Instead, he took out a pen and paper from his bag and wrote, "Sleep well. The big thing has been decided. I have to leave beforehand. See you at the gate of Wanghai Tower at 5 o'clock. Luligan folded the paper in half and clamped it on the front windshield. Then he walked to his motorcycle and stepped on it. His motorcycle had been parked here all night. Luligan rode his motorcycle to the door. The old man at the door stopped him. The old man still knew him and said, "It's you. Why did you park your car here all night?" Luligan quickly got out of the car, took out a cigarette and handed it to him, lighting it. Luligan said to him, "I'm sorry, I had something urgent yesterday, so I left in a friend's car." As he smoked Luligan's cigarette, the old man's face became cheerful. He said, "If you want to stop next time, just say hello to me. Otherwise, if the boss asks, I won't even know whose car it is." "Okay, thank you, master," Luligan said, and took out another cigarette and handed it to him. The old man took it, clamped it on his ear, and waved to Luligan. It was 10 minutes before 5 o'clock. Luligan walked from Zhang Chen's office to the front door of the hotel. He stood in front of the door and waited, staring at the entrance in front. By 5 o'clock, he had not seen Huang Mei. Luligan became anxious about the car. He wondered if Huang Mei was still sleeping in the parking lot of the Industrial and Commercial Bureau and never woke up. Luligan was about to go to the parking lot and took his motorcycle to take a look. Someone slapped him on the shoulder and shouted, "Ja!" Luligan was startled, and the other person chuckled. Luligan turned around and saw that Huang Mei had changed into another outfit. It was the same outfit he wore when he saw her for the first time. He couldn't tell what brand it was, and it felt much plainer than the previous one. Luligan asked, "Where is your car? Why didn't I see it come in?" Huang Mei pointed toward the depths of the parking lot, "Park over there. I've been there a long time ago. I was sitting in the lobby and I saw you coming here sneakily." "What do you mean by being sneaky? You didn't call me when you saw me coming." "Humph, I just want you to wait." "Who asked you to leave me a note instead of writing dear?" "Okay, dear, let's go. It's almost time. Let's pick them up. By the way, his girlfriend is here too, and she's also from the Industrial and Commercial Bureau." "Okay, that's better." Huang Mei turned around and said to the doorman, "Handsome guy, go call a taxi for me." The doorman happily ran to Haixiu Road. Luligan was surprised. He asked, "Is your car broken down?" "No. Then why don't you drive away in your car? Are you cheating? If you drive that car to treat people to dinner, don't you tell them that I am a fat pig? Come and kill me. If they don't kill you hard, how can they be willing to give you the license?" Luligan suddenly realized, no wonder Huang Mei had to change her clothes, no wonder she had to dress so plainly when she went to the Industrial and Commercial Bureau to do business, so that he mistakenly thought she was an employee of the company. She was still very considerate. Luligan couldn't help but give her a thumbs up. After getting into the taxi, Lu Ligan told Huang Meli that I had already booked a private room on the third floor of Nance Huang. You. Huang Meli looked at the driver and did not continue to scold him. Instead, he twisted Lu Ligan's thigh, causing Lu Ligan to grimace in pain. What, I was wrong again, Lu Ligan asked. Lao Ma, I don't even know what to say about you. Huang Meli poked Lu Ligan's forehead with her finger and said. He is just an ordinary staff member. If you invite him to a place like that, he will become nervous before he arrives. He will be wary of you, thinking that you have some major conspiracy. Sit down and every word you ask, he will understand. Every word you answer must be carefully considered. Lao Ma, are you just trying to spy on information like this? Lu Ligan thought, yes. He scratched his head and smiled sheepishly. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 269. For dinner, Huang Meli booked Aer Liangtang. This place is not the most upscale hotel in Haikan, but it is famous enough and the food is delicious. Hong Kong-style food is especially suitable for young people who are pursuing foreign tastes at that time. Put it there and invite the two young men. If you think about it carefully, it is really suitable. It wasn't very formal, but the sincerity could be seen. This showed Huang Meli's intention, and Lu Ligan secretly admired it. When they arrived at the door of the Industrial and Commercial Bureau, they saw the young man and his girlfriend from a distance, standing 5 or 6 meters away from the door. They didn't want to be seen by colleagues coming in and out of the unit, and they couldn't let Lu Ligan not be found. Them. Huang Meli told the taxi driver to pick up the two people standing on the roadside and go to Aer Liangtang. Lu Ligan was surprised and was about to ask, how did you know it was them? Then he remembered that Huang Meli had just obtained a license, so of course she would know the young man. The taxi stopped in front of the two people. Lu Ligan and Huang Meli got out of the car. When the young man saw them, he was stunned for a moment and asked Lu Ligan, is she your girlfriend? Before Lu Ligan spoke, Huang Meli said, he is him, and I am me. Aren't you afraid of running away here? It's his business that he can handle on his own. The young man smiled, turned around and said to his girlfriend, she is the one I told you. I'm going to die. Huang Meli cursed softly, am I famous for crying in your bureau? The other three couldn't help but laugh. The four of them got on the bus and went to Aer Liangtang. After sitting down, Lu Ligan asked the young man, boss, if he had any taboos. The young man's girlfriend chuckled, looked at the young man, and said to Lu Ligan, what kind of leader is he? Huang Meli patted Lu Ligan on the shoulder and said to him, he is a fart, a flatterer. He calls me a leader. Everyone laughed again. This started the formal introduction. The young man's surname was Xiao Zanbo, and his girlfriend's surname was Yang Walai. Yang Walai said that in the unit, everyone calls me Xiao Yang and him Sanpi. Lu Ligan and Huang Meli were stunned, and Yang Walai said, isn't Bo just Sanpi? Lu Ligan and Huang Meli suddenly realized it. Huang Meli and Yang Walai said, I call you Sister Wei Li. Okay, the other party agreed happily. After ordering food and wine, Lu Ligan asked Xiao Zanbo what kind of wine he wanted to drink, white beer or foreign wine. Xiao Zanbo said it was fair, so Lu Ligan ordered a bottle of Wulianjai worth 188 yuan. Xiao Zanbo said it was too expensive and unnecessary. It's necessary, it's necessary. Isn't this rare? It's our first time together, Huang Meli said from the side. Xiao Zanbo looked at Yang Walai. Yang Walai said, don't look at me, I don't know how to drink. Huang Meli said, I don't know how to drink it either. Sister Wei Li, let's drink watermelon juice. You don't know how to drink? Lu Ligan almost couldn't control his laughter, but he still held it back. But from here, Lu Ligan became more convinced that Huang Mei's judgment was accurate. 188 wines shocked them. If 8,800 the minimum consumption is 88, doesn't that scare them half to death? In the end, I still ordered 1 bottle of Wulianjai and 4 bottles of San Miguel beer. In Lu Ligan's words, the beer was so delicious that I knew you had a good drinking capacity. Just so, Xiao Zanbo said quickly. 2 people drink, and 2 people drink. The drinker always comes faster than the drinker and eats more food. Lu Ligan and Xiao Zanbo only had 3 drinks, and Huang Mei and Yang Wulai were full. Huang Mei seemed to suddenly have an idea and said to Yang Wulai, Sister Wei Li, the first floor of Wanghai Mall is going to be closed for renovation. They are all on sale. Let's go and take a look and ignore them. Okay, Yang Wulai said and stood up, and the 2 of them left the box. After the woman left, the remaining 2 men felt relaxed and prepared to have a big drink. Xiao Zanbo drank a lot and was very drunk. He came up after Yang Wulai and Huang Mei left. He patted Lu Ligan on the shoulder and said loudly, Brother, you are very interesting. I know what do you mean by inviting me today. I understand, I know everything here. He patted his chest, your business is my business, don't worry, I will keep an eye on you. Lu Ligan quickly picked up the cup and saluted him, thank you, thank you. With your words, I can sleep well at night. Don't worry. Go to sleep boldly. 2 people did it all. Lu Ligan filled his glass with wine, but he still felt uneasy and asked, do you need to say hello to the section chief, division chief, and director? What do you say hello to? Xiao Zanbo waved his hand, no need, I'll take care of everything for you as long as I'm here. If you want to say hello, I'll go and say hello. When Lu Ligan heard this, he wailed in his heart. He knew that the day was over, and the drink was probably in vain. He met a drunkard. When this kind of person doesn't drink, he is more normal than anyone else. After 1 or 2 drinks, there is no one in the world. He is big. Lu Ligan didn't give up, so he changed the question and continued to test, brother, in your bureau, who has the final say on this matter? The director, and section chief. I don't even care about them. How did I hear that? I heard that, brother, don't mind. People outside say that in your place, as long as you deal with section chief Ma, the matter will be quick. Who? Lao Ma? He's nothing. Let me tell you, I'm sitting there. Whoever I say can get this license can get it. Whoever I tell him can't get it, he can't get it. Do you believe it or not? Lu Ligan felt that what he said was not bragging. Indeed, in his position, he might not be able to achieve success, but he could still ruin your affairs. If nothing else, he only needed to find faults in your materials. Telling you that this won't work and that won't work, and if you come back in 2 days, there's nothing you can do about it. Xiao Zanbo stared at Lu Ligan, making Lu Ligan feel uncomfortable. Xiao Zanbo slammed the table and shouted, I understand, brother, don't you still believe what I told you? How is that possible? Lu Ligan shouted quickly, as soon as I entered, I felt that the entire Industry and Commerce Bureau is just because of your extraordinary bearing, and you will definitely prosper in the future. Look, besides you, have I invited anyone else to dinner? I didn't ask others to lead me, and to tell you the truth, brother, I also have selfish motives. What selfish motives? I'm flattering you. I have a good relationship with you now, but when you become the director of the department, will my entry and exit into this industrial and commercial bureau be the same as entering my own home? Xiao Zanbo chuckled and said, don't worry, when the day comes, I will let you be half of the family in this industrial and commercial bureau. Whose license do you say you can issue? Brush it and give it to him. Whose license you say you can't issue? Bang bang kill him, Let him die completely. Okay, I want to write this down to prevent you from disowning it when you become the director. Lu Ligan felt bitter in his heart, but he still wanted to compliment him on the surface. He knew that tonight, this bastard couldn't do anything here. Whatever you asked, he would take care of him, pat his own chest, and embolden his courage. Lu Ligan has seen a lot about this kind of drinking. Lu Ligan felt contempt in his heart, but he didn't dare to offend him yet. As the same saying goes, he has more than enough to accomplish things and more than enough to ruin you. The two of them finished a bottle of Wulianjai, and then finished 4 bottles of San Miguel beer. Before Lu Ligan could say anything, Xiao Zanbo shouted, "Waiter!" The waiter came in and said, 4 more bottles of San Miguel. Lu Ligan was scolding in his heart, "Oh, your mother," but he still yelled, "Yes, yes, come again, wine, water, what's the big deal, let's just get drunk today." They drank from around 6 o'clock to around 9 o'clock. Yang Walai and Huang Meli went out for 2 hours before coming back. They were carrying large and small bags in their hands and their faces were flushed. As soon as they entered the door, Yang Walai saw something on the table. The wine bottle shouted, "Mom, how much did you drink? You're going to get drunk again later, so stop drinking." Xiao Zanbo looked at her, giggled, and said inarticulately, "Brother Lu, Reporter Lu, and Mr. Lu, I are happy today." Okay, I know you are happy, and I am happy too, but I can't drink anymore." Yang Walai turned around and said softly to Huang Meli, "It's over, I might have to do hygiene again later until dawn." Huang Meli smiled softly. "What did you say?" Xiao Zanbo shouted. No, I told Xiao Huang that you are especially cute when you drink." Xiao Zanbo chuckled. The 4 of them got up. Yang Walai supported Xiao Zanbo. It turned out that she and Huang Meli were holding the bags. Now Huang Meli was carrying the bags alone. Lu Lizan was carrying his own backpack on his right shoulder and Huang Meli's bag on his left. 2 straps were crossed on the chest. When passing the cashier, Lu Ligan told the cashier to pay. The cashier pointed at Huang Meli's back and said to him, "Your girlfriend has already bought it." Lu Ligan was dizzy and didn't think about it for a while. "Get up, this Huang Meli, when did you pay for it?" The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 270. The 4 of them arrived at the door. Huang Meli called a taxi. Yang Walai put Xiao Zanbo into the back seat and got in herself. Huang Meli asked, "Sister Wei Li, do you really not need us to send her as a gift?" No, really, just call someone downstairs in the dormitory of your work unit to help get it done." Okay. Huang Meli asked Lu Ligan to open the front door and put all the bags in his hands on the passenger seat. Yang Walai waved to them from the car window and said, thank you, Xiao Huang." Xiao Zanbo pressed half of his body on Yang Walai, crawled over, stretched out his head, and said to Lu Ligan, brother, thank you." He stretched out his hand and made sure to shake Lu Ligan's hand, and Lu Ligan shook his hand. He wanted to say something more, but Yang Walai pulled him back and cursed, "You're crushing me." The driver was about to drive, and Huang Meli said, "Wait." She walked to Lu Ligan, took out 100 yuan from her bag hanging on him, walked to the driver, gave him the money, and told him, "No need to look for it. Please help my sister to move things and people upstairs when you get here." The driver was so happy that he quickly said, "Yes, no problem." After seeing them off, Huang Meli turned around and asked Lu Ligan, "How are you?" Lu Ligan said it was okay. "He drank too much, but I was okay." He said it's okay. "He smells of alcohol. Let's find a place to rest first." Huang Meli pulled Lu Ligan towards Wanghai Tower. Lu Ligan suddenly woke up and asked, "Where are we going?" "Let's stay at Wanghai Tower tonight. I'll park my car there." "No, No. Lu Ligan stopped, thinking in his heart, Huang Meli must be a celebrity in Wanghai Tower, and those people in Wanghai Tower also know him. If he goes there, Zhang Chen will be there the next day. You know, how do you explain the night you spent here with so and so? Why can't you go to Wanghai Tower, Lao Ma, what are you afraid of? Huang Meli also stopped and looked at Lu Ligan with suspicion. Lu Ligan had his head drooped and had a splitting headache. He kept shaking from side to side. Huang Meli straightened his head and patted his face with her hands. Shouted. Lao Ma, are you drunk? Lu Ligan looked at Huang Meli and exhaled. Huang Meli said oh, turned his head away, and cursed, it stinks. Lu Ligan chuckled. Huang Meli pulled his hand and asked, Lao Ma, to be honest, why can't you go to Wanghai Tower? To be honest, hey, everyone there knows me, and they should all know you too. Yeah, what's wrong, are you embarrassed to be with me? It's not embarrassing, it's just verbose. It's not you who are verbose, nor me, but someone is verbose. My brother is doing the decoration of Wanghai Tower. He knows that when we are together, there will be 100,000 Ys. This 100,000 Y, I don't know a single thing. Lu Ligan babbled, no, I know 3. First, you are a woman. Second, you are very beautiful. Third, you are very good. No, 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 and fourth, I like it very much you, other than that, I don't even know your name. No, I know, your name is Huang Meli, in my heart, you are beautiful. Huang Meli listened to his ramble and smiled, okay, I only know your name is Lao Ma, which is good. Forget it, let's go to Haikan Hotel. As soon as he entered the room, Lu Ligan was pushed into the bathroom by Huang Meli and asked him to take a bath. After taking a bath, Lu Ligan felt a little more awake and his head didn't hurt so much. Huang Meli asked him, how are you doing there? Didn't complete the task? Lu Ligan grimaced and cursed, I didn't catch anything. One night, I just listened to him bragging about how great he was. He didn't think he was a section chief, director, or director. I humming wanted to choke this powerful thing to death. Huang Meli giggled and said, look, the world is made a mess by you men. Fortunately, there are women. Oh, Lao Ma, if you didn't have a woman like me, would you be dead? Lu Ligan heard something in her words, his eyes lit up, and he asked, what, did you gain something? Of course, Huang Meli said proudly, I'm not you. You went to drink with a purpose, but ended up drinking without achieving any purpose. I went to the mall with a purpose, and of course I wanted to get mine. Purpose. Come on, tell me, what do you know? Lu Li asked anxiously. I know, oops, I have to take a shower first, I'm all smelly. Huang Meli yelled and stood up. Lu Ligan quickly grabbed her, pressed her down on the sofa, and said to her, no matter how smelly you are, you always smell good. But, after walking so much, my feet hurt, Huang Meli said coquettishly. Okay, I'll press it for you, Lu Ligan said and helped her press her calf. Huang Meli sighed with satisfaction and said, that's pretty much it? Are you feeling comfortable? Lu Ligan asked. It's a little comfortable, Huang Meli said. Can you talk to me now? Don't stop your hands. Okay, I promise not to stop. Yang Wilai told me that although the license needs to be signed by the section chief and the director, in fact, the one who makes the decision is section chief Ma. The other two are just a formality because the process is stipulated in this way. In the enterprise registration office, not only does Chief Ma and his company have an enterprise registration section, which is responsible for the registration of domestic-funded enterprises, but most importantly, there is also a foreign-related enterprise section, which manages joint ventures and wholly foreign-owned enterprises. After all, attracting foreign investment is the key. If the director is in charge of everything that is the focus of work at the top and bottom levels, how can he manage it? That's even more true for the director. He doesn't know anything. Even if you show him the application materials, he can't figure out why. The two of them, anyway, they signed it immediately if Lao Ma gave it to them. The most important thing is that the chief of the hemp section is older than the director and director of the Industrial and Commercial Bureau. He was an old industrial and commercial man before the establishment of the province, but he is more domineering. His reputation below is not good, and he has never been promoted, but no matter whether he is the director or the director, there is no need to offend him. Anyway, he will retire in 2 years, so they turn a blind eye and let him go. Even people in the industry and commerce know that Lao Ma is notoriously difficult to deal with, and he is also very greedy. If you don't deal with him, you won't be able to get your license right away. Don't listen to Xiao Zanbo's nonsense. When he sees Lao Ma, don't even dare to fart. How's it going, Lao Ma? Am I better at gathering information than you? Great. Even 10 of me can't compare to one of your fingers, Lu Ligan said. Huang Meli touched his head and said to him, "Good boy, this is a good flatterer. Then I will tell you more. You know this old man. If you want to give a gift, where is the best place to buy it? Where to go?" Lao Ma's family lives in an old house on Changdi Road, near the entrance of Shuixiang. There is a small shop downstairs from their house, which is opened by Lao Ma's nephew. If Lao Ma takes you there, you will be 80% safe. Now that you have an idea, you buy cigarettes and alcohol from his nephew's shop and go upstairs to give them to him. He is the happiest. Why? Because as soon as you leave, the cigarettes and alcohol immediately return to the canteen. Really, is this guy too dark? Of course it's true. Even the other people in the Industrial and Commercial Bureau don't know about this, and even Xiao Zanbo may not know about it. Lu Ligan asked curiously, "Then how do you know?" "Yang Wulai told me." Huang Meli smiled. "Do you know who Yang Wulai is?" Lu Ligan shook his head. She followed Lao Ma as soon as she entered the Industrial and Commercial Bureau. Lao Ma is her master. She is very close to their family, so she will know. Awesome, this, I really can't refuse. You can even understand this. If you had been born a few decades earlier, you could have been a female spy. Lu Lepole patted Huang Meli's calf and sighed sincerely. "Go, I don't want to be a female spy," Huang Meli scolded. "Didn't you see in that movie, the female spy was sentenced to death by me on behalf of the people in the end?" "Lao Ma, do you know what to do now?" Huang Meli asked. "Got it, Target Section Chief Ma, move forward. I won't be able to help from now on. I know, you are not afraid of this old man, but you are afraid of that old man." Lu Ligan woke up and Huang Meli was not there again. Lu Ligan's head still hurt a little. He pressed his temples with his hands and sat up on the bed. He reached out to grab the cigarettes on the bedside table, but saw a note on the bedside table, left by Huang Meli, written on a note from Haikan Hotel. "Honey, I'm home." Below, there is a red lip mark. Lu Ligan held the note and felt a little disappointed. He remembered that he had never seen Huang Meli's beautiful face at first sight when he woke up. Thinking of it, no matter how good they were together, Huang Meli would eventually go home to the old man, even though she said she couldn't stay at home. She can't stay outside or by her side. When thinking about this, Lu Ligan felt that his head hurt even more.